After a bath. Marigold English. First standard. Unit 2nd. After a bath.
After a bath, I try to wipe myself till I'm dry. Hands to wipe and fingers and toes, and two wet legs and a shiny nose.
Just think how much less time I take if I were a dog and could shake. Just think how much less time I take if I were a dog and could shake.
After a bath, I try to wipe myself till I'm dry. Hands to wipe and fingers and toes, and two wet legs and a shiny nose.
Just think how much less time I take if I were a dog and could shake. Just think how much less time I take if I were a dog and could shake.
Press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
After a bath, I try to wipe myself till I'm dry. Hands to wipe and fingers and toes, and two wet legs and a shiny nose. After a bath, I try to wipe myself till I'm dry. Hands to wipe and fingers and toes, and two wet legs and a shiny nose.
Just think how much less time I take if I were a dog and could shake. Just think how much less time I take if I were a dog and could shake.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Unity is strength. Sparkle English 3rd standard 3rd lesson. Unity is strength.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Once upon a time, there was a flock of doves that flew in search of food to a far-away place. They were led by their king. One day, they had flown a long distance and were very tired. The king dove encouraged them to fly a little further. The youngest dove saw some rice scattered on the ground beneath a big banyan tree. I can see some rice beneath that tree. Let us go there. They were all very hungry, so they all landed and began to eat the rice. Suddenly, a net fell over them. They were all trapped. They saw a hunter approaching them with a huge club. Oh my God, a hunter is coming to catch us. Yes, we have been trapped by the hunter. What to do? What do we do now? We should have thought of it earlier before landing here. Yes, King, we should have known that rice could possibly not come on its own under a tree. The doves desperately fluttered their wings and tried to get out, but to no avail. All of you calm down. I have an idea. There is great strength in unity. You all follow my instructions. Yes, King, we shall follow your command. Now listen to me carefully. Each one of you pick up a portion of the net. When I say go, we fly up together carrying the net with us. We all are ready, King. On your mark, Get set, go. The doves flew up with the net. The hunter looked up in astonishment. Oh no, my prey has gone. I will have to go hungry today. My net has gone too. He started cursing himself. He tried to follow them, but the birds were flying high over the hills and the valleys. They flew to a hill near a city of temples where a mouse lived. He was a faithful friend of the king dove. When the mouse heard the loud noise of their approach, he went into hiding. King Dove gently called out to him, "Oh mouse, I am your friend, the king dove." The mouse slowly appeared from his hiding place. He was surprised to see them in the net. "Oh king, I welcome you to my land. But who did this to you? How can I help you?" "We were trapped by the hunter. I request you to call your friends to gnaw at the net and set us free." The mouse immediately called his friends. "Friends, start your work. Let us first free the king." "Not me first. Kindly free my subjects first and then me." "O noble king, we shall do as you say." All the mice began to bite the net, and one by one, all of the doves were freed, including the king dove. "Thank you for setting us free." "Thanks, my dear friends." Thereafter, they all flew away together, united in their strength.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Cooking the Khichdi. 4th Standard, Sparkle English, 3rd lesson, Cooking the Khichdi.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
It was a chilly winter day. The ponds were almost frozen. King Akbar and his courtiers were discussing important issues at the court. Birbal was listening to the conversation. In the middle of the discussion, the King Akbar looked at the Birbal. Everyone in the court was very silent. They knew that the king would ask some question to Birbal and puzzle him. They were curious to know the next act of the king. "Tell me, Birbal, will a man do anything for a few coins?" "Yes, your majesty, a man can do anything for money." "Are you sure? Can a person risk his life for a few coins?" "Yes, a man can even risk his life for money." The emperor ordered him to prove it. He gave him 2 days' time to bring a man who could do anything for a few coins. The next day, Birbal came to the court along with a poor Brahmin who had merely a penny left with him, and his family was starving. The courtiers were stunned to see the man who was ready to risk his life just for some money. "Your Majesty, here is a poor Brahmin. He is ready to do anything for the sake of money." The king was surprised to see that a man could risk his life for a small amount. He turned towards him and explained him what he was supposed to do. He pointed his finger towards the freezing cold water in the pond in the courtyard and ordered, "Stand inside the frozen pond all through the night without any attire if you want the money." The poor Brahmin had no choice. He was badly in need of money. The whole night he stood inside the pond, shivering very badly. The king had posted 2 guards to keep watch on him. The poor Brahmin returned to the court the next day to receive his reward. "Tell me, O poor Brahmin, how could you withstand the extreme temperature all through the night. I could see a faintly glowing light a kilometer away, and we stood with that ray of light. King Akbar got very angry. He felt cheated. He refused to pay the Brahmin his reward. "You are a cheat. You got warmth from the light and withstood the cold, and that was cheating. But Your Majesty, those lights were very far from me. I could just see the lights. I could not feel the warmth." But the king would not listen to him. All the courtiers also declared him a cheat in one voice. They wished that this time Birbal should fail in his test. They were jealous of him, as the king always praised him for his cleverness. The poor Brahmin could not argue with the king, and so returned home disappointed and barehanded. Birbal tried to explain to the king, but he was in no mood to listen. Birbal then thought of a plan to bring the truth to the notice of the king. He did not go to the court the next day. The king felt restless when he did not find Birbal in the court the next day. He immediately sent a messenger to his house. The messenger came back and told the king that Birbal would come to the court only after cooking his khichdi. As Birbal did not turn up even after 5 days, the king himself went to Birbal's house to see what he was doing. When the king reached his house, he saw that Birbal had lit the fire and kept a pot of uncooked khichdi 2 meters away from it. Akbar questioned him, "How will the khichdi get cooked with the fire so far away? What is wrong with you, Birbal?" Birbal replied, "O my great king of Hindustan, when it was possible for a person to receive warmth from a light that was a kilometer away, then is it not possible for this khichdi, which is just a few meters away from the source of heat, to get cooked?" Akbar understood his mistake. He called the poor Brahmin and rewarded him 2,000 gold coins. Thus, the witty Birbal saw to it that the poor Brahmin got justice. Thank you.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Speak the truth. English reader, first language, 4th standard, 3rd lesson. Speak the truth.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.
Santosh was a student of class 4th. His teacher gave him homework every day. Santosh usually reached home at 4 p.m. He would have his snacks and then do his homework. One day, Santosh returned from school. He was happy to see his cousin Sandhya. She had come to play with him. Santosh played with Sandhya the whole evening. He forgot to do his homework. The next day, his teacher asked him the homework. Santosh did not reply. But suddenly he thought of an excuse and had fever, madam. The teacher thought it was true and excused him. Now Santosh felt bad. During the lunch break, he sat under a tree. He did not eat his food. Suguna, Santosh's sister, was studying in 7th standard in the same school. She saw him sitting alone and came to him. "Why are you not eating? You are looking dull. What happened?" she asked. Santosh kept quiet for some time and then started weeping. Suguna waited for her brother to speak. Slowly, Santosh started. "Yesterday, I played with Sandhya and forgot to do my homework. but I lied to my teacher. Suguna listened to him patiently. Then she said, "Don't worry, get up. Let us go to your teacher. Admit a mistake before the teacher." Both Santosh and Suguna went to the teacher. The teacher asked, "What do you do? What do you want?" Suguna looked at Santosh. Tears rolled down his cheeks. The teacher asked Santosh, "What makes you weep?" Santosh replied, "Madam, I lied to you in the morning. I was not sick. I played the whole evening and I did not do my homework. Please excuse me." The teacher felt very happy. She consoled him and said, "You have admitted your mistake and now you have told the truth. Being truthful is always good." Thank you.
Subscribe now and press the bell icon. Never miss an update.